Henry Miller is the American writer who brought to American and world literature a new physiognomy, a special structure and compositional construction. But in my opinion, what is most important is the high human sensitivity to penetrate and move in the soul human with a great finesse. It must be said that Henry Miller acquired this finesse during his years of emigration to Paris in 1928, and where he stayed for no less than 37 years. This is also explained by his characteristic lyrical nature for a Brooklynite. I am also influenced by Paris, which contrasts with his coloring introduced the writer to misery, where he was forced to do different jobs. Although in Paris he experienced the first psychological shock, he did not change, but remained a man. Anyway, an undisciplined rebellious nature. But to become at the age of 40 a genius of letters. Only in 1937 he began to write his first great work, Tropic of Cancer, which he managed to publish in the publishing house, Obelisk Press, an English publisher installed in Paris. Explosive debut. To others it seemed nothing but a work with violent scenes and scandals. This always happens with literary criticism. The Tropic of Cancer and later the Tropic of Capricorn were transferred to the USA. The only unity of the Tropic of Cancer was the biographical nature. The work reflects in a unique way the years when the author comes to live in France. After a few days that he spends in Dijon, he begins to teach English at the Lycée Camet in Paris. The Tropic of Cancer is mainly Paris. The Miller in Paris is the discovery of Paris and the discovery of himself, his poverty and joy. His taste for prostitutes and the houses where he spent time with them. The happy conversations with his writer and artist friends. Montparnasse, the small cafes in the clinches. The paintings of Matisse, the sides of the Seine in the sunset that turns silver. The work is not exactly a novel, neither an essay nor a collection of stories or memories. All genres are summed up in it, realizing that on the first page of this book it is an intimate experience. Miller writes, "I have a year or maybe 7 months that I think I'm an artist. I don't think anymore, I'm an artist. Everything that used to be called literature is buried inside me, many books to write. Thank God, I wanted a song. I sing." Indeed, it is a song, an aesthetic search, a work of art, but, above all, the freedom of individual affirmation. For the author Miller, man has betrayed the appeal of nature to be its best being. Mr. Miller would write in those years, for one reason or another, a man looks for a miracle and to find it, to compensate for it, he drowns in blood. He will do a lot of dirty ideas that will put him in the shadows. If for 1 second of his life he would close his eyes on the sorrows of reality, it would seem as if he would face everything, misfortune, humility, poverty, war, crime, boredom. Believing that tomorrow something will arrive, something that will make his life tolerant, confused by a world with fake concessions, he plunges into an object of civilizational darkness in the nails, where he finds the laws of a life that revolves. Tropic of Capricorn, which was published 4 years after Tropic of Cancer, reflects Miller's life in the US after leaving Europe. The work deals primarily with the author's childhood in Brooklyn, his interest in paternal origins as well as the period when he was chief of staff of the Telegraph Company of New York. He was a functionary who put him in contact with different types of people. The Trope of Cancer is the book of the underground paths of pain and rebellion. He writes, "I have had the feeling almost all my life not to live, but also the appeal of life." Henry Miller is also the author of several other works such as the stories, Crucified in Dandelions, from which the two famous volumes will be born. Lexis and Plexus, which have a pronounced autobiographical character. Deepu Nan Haven, another humorous autobiographical book. His story, which had a great success in America, was Reunion in Brooklyn, written in the 1940s when he returns to New York after long years of Parisian exile. He rushes to rediscover himself in American life in the values of high of a technical progress, the monstrous development of journalism and moral changes. The mentality that contrasted with the optimistic official European affirmations. The book, Memories, were published in 1953 and are a social autopsy of America in these years. They are also a larger fresco than a novel could present. Miller, the man who stood up against racism and who specified his position regarding reality. The war where harsh reality and at the same time extraordinary humor, but also a mystical vision make his works explosive works in the individualist tradition, and Miller himself. A genius, undisciplined of American letters.